What's going on, people? Welcome back to Curtis Shaw TV, back with another Arsenal therapy. We are only 3 games into the season, but I just knew I'd be here at some stage. To be honest, people, this is the show where we try and figure out and best deal with why we're an Arsenal fan and ask ourselves why Thierry Henry set us up for years of misery. Nah, it's not that bad, people. Life goes on, right? Happy Monday. Hope everyone is well. It is transfer deadline day today. Or if you're an Arsenal fan, it is Monday. No, we've actually signed players this year, but are we going to have an exciting final day? Who knows? Hincapie looks like he'll join, and a few players look like they'll go out the door, probably on loan, and maybe one or two permanents, people. Listen, by the way, you guys know I'm not an XG merchant. I don't really buy into XG so much, but it is interesting that we're the second lowest expected goals in the whole of the Premier League, and yet we've spent £260 million this summer on players. And in it funny, yesterday we basically went there to draw or win with a set piece, and we lost with a set piece. How ironic. Um, but yeah, listen, we're going to break it down. We'll do player ratings and all of that good stuff. I saw two teams yesterday, and I saw, to me as a football fan, if you watch your team go to another big club and they try hard to win that game and they lose, some days you accept it. You're not happy about it, but you accept it. It is what it is. But this guy went there to get a point and ended up getting beaten and then didn't know how to figure out getting back into the game. And as soon as I saw the lineup, I knew he'd messed up. It was criminal. It was criminal. He got it all wrong. And I just don't understand what he was thinking yesterday. Some of the decisions that Arteta made yesterday were absolutely scandalous. And I mean scandalous, people. We're going to talk about them today in more detail. But he made some shocking decisions yesterday. How can you turn up at Liverpool with Eze on the bench, Odegaard on the bench, Waneri on the bench? Where's your creativity? How are you going to score goals? It's it's unbelievable. I don't understand the fanfare towards this manager online. I don't understand it. We had a clear opportunity to go and beat Liverpool yesterday, right? They're going to blow up the transfer market today with Isak and with Mark Gahey, who are going to make them so much better than they are already. And we went there and sat back. We had one shot on target. If Liverpool were playing Sunderland at home and Sunderland had one shot on target, I would understand it. If Burnley were playing at Anfield, I would understand it. It's survival football. You can't compete with them. So I would totally understand that. Our team yesterday was worth a lot of money. And we set the team up wrong. He played Marino. Marino didn't play well. He played Martinelli. Martinelli didn't play well. From you saw the starting 11, you knew that he was playing survival football. He was playing survival football. Our midfield had no creativity in it. We were never going to win that game unless we scored from a set piece. And Liverpool had a defence that was able to cope with the set pieces because Van Dijk and Canate are massive and they won every header. Now, some people were messaging me yesterday. But what did Liverpool do? It's quite simple. They won the game of football. When we beat Man United, I sat on here and said we did not play well. But the defence was, yeah, but you won the game and you got 3 points. And I held my hands up and says, yeah, I'm going to have to fall back. I can't be too critical of that performance at Old Trafford because we came away with 3 points. And if you play like that and win, it's acceptable. If you play like that and get beat, I'd be sitting on that coach home last night going, we didn't even really go for it. We didn't trouble them. They had a harder game against Bournemouth. They had a harder game against 10 men Newcastle than Arsenal. It was dreadful. How can any Arsenal fan watch that kind of football and enjoy that? I'll accept that if you win the title, bro. Real talk. You play like that all season and lift the league title, I will sit there bored out of my mind watching Arsenal do what Wenger's doing here, lift the Premier League trophy. I'll take 1-0 every week, stinky football if you bring us a title. But you ain't winning us a title playing like that. It's just not happening. It's not happening. I'm sorry. It's not. Thermal said he has an inferiority complex. Bro, I'm telling you, he is traumatized from going to Anfield as an Everton player. Going there as an underdog, playing survival football, trying to get a point and celebrating a draw. You're at Arsenal, you've spent £1 billion. You need to change your mentality, bro. We're not Everton. Yeah, we expect to go to Anfield and make them struggle. And if they're going to get 3 points, make them have to run through brick walls to do it. They coped with our attack. They didn't play that well going forward. They scored a wonder free kick. It wasn't difficult for Liverpool. Yeah, they didn't play that well going forward, but they didn't struggle. And this isn't reactionary. Because some people in the chat, don't be reactionary. I'm not being reactionary, people. I'm calm. I told you, when we judge Mikel Arteta, we can't just judge game to game to game. This is 6 years, bro. It's 6 years of building. You won the FA Cup with players that you didn't want. You said, I don't want this squad. Saka's the only player left at Arsenal from that FA Cup win. So you smashed the whole squad down to build your squad, which is fair. Managers want to build their own team. And this is a better team, and we're not winning trophies. We're not winning trophies. I'm sitting here today going, I have no belief we're going to win the Premier League this season. None. Not reactionary. I'm being realistic. How can I sit here and expect Arsenal to win the league this season when we're playing football like that in big games? And they've got here we go on Isak. The striker we wanted for a year was told we can't sign because they got Champions League football. Yet they've bullied him out of Newcastle. And they're signing Crystal Palace captain Mark Gahey on top of what they had last season that won them the league already. And listen, the quite simple fact of the matter is, what we need to learn from Liverpool is when you sell players properly, you can spend big money. They've spent 430 million. They've sold Harvey Elliott today. They're going to sell Gomez. They've made over 200 million in player sales. And people were saying, yeah, but Liverpool were no better than us, but they won. When we went to Old Trafford, we were no better than Man United, but we won, right? So we all sat there and said, yeah, but you have to calm down. It's a good win at Old Trafford. And I said, yeah, you're right. You know what? We didn't play well, but we got the 3 points. Liverpool didn't play well, but they got the 3 points. And that's what champions do, right? You win when you play badly. You win when you play badly. We were poor yesterday. Our attack was non-existent. Defensively, we were solid. 50% of our game worked. 50% of it didn't work. Wasn't a good performance. If you went to Liverpool yesterday to watch that, I feel sorry for you, honestly. Imagine travelling from London to Liverpool, 3-4 hours, and you watch one shot on target. Survival football. Eze on the bench. Why was Eze on the bench yesterday? Why was he on the bench? Can he not speak the language? Is he not used to the weather? Was he jet lagged? What's the problem? Why can we not sign a player and start him straight away? He's trained all week. He knows half the squad. What's the problem? We got a lot to talk about today. Big up to everyone. Could be quite a long show. So get yourself a drink. Get yourself comfortable. We're selling players for, well, are we selling players? We're loaning players. We're going to talk about yesterday's game, couple of quotes, transfers. I'll be back later on as well with a transfer show if some stuff happens. Don't forget, today's show is sponsored by Match Bingo. Scan the QR code in the top corner. Use the code SHAW to get a 200% bonus. Deposit £5 to get £10 free. Get involved, and they have got some stuff going on during the international break as well. If you want to have a bit of fun while you're watching the game, get involved. And the link is in the description and pinned in the comments. Shout out to Match Bingo. Look at some of these quotes before we get into, we're going to do player ratings, get yesterday's game out of the way, then we'll look at the transfers and we'll look at some of the other clubs, what business they're doing. There's a lot of movement today. Jadon Sancho and Harvey Elliott going to Aston Villa, which is interesting. Obviously, Isak and Gahey to Liverpool. Kolo Muani is going to Tottenham. Manchester United are getting Le Mans, the goalkeeper, from Belgium. There's a lot going off today, people. Arsenal, obviously, Hincapie is in London and has completed his medical. Listen, I'm not going to lie. I'm always totally honest with the community. We can have open and honest interaction. I don't waste my time explaining myself on Twitter. I just don't. I throw the grenade and I walk off like Bruce Willis in Die Hard. There's fire behind me while I'm walking off because there's no point explaining myself. The new narrative, as I've said, is when I criticize Arteta, they say, why didn't you tell him that in the press conference? I say, that's just not how things work, my friend. That's just not how it works. Like I said, people think we're in the streets. They want me to headbutt him. But that's not quite how it works. But I'm just not convinced we're going to win the major trophies this year because I don't see a manager that is tactically astute enough to get the best out of the players that he signed. Even Eze, is he going to get as much quality out of Eze as Crystal Palace did? The clown flat out admitted that Odegaard was hurt in the press conference. Well, I want to go one step further. I want to talk about this quote. Some of you might think I'm doing too much with this, but I do not like this quote from Mikel Arteta for a number of reasons. I think he's a hypocrite by saying this. Arteta, after the game yesterday said, you have to put the ball in the back of the net. We were much better than last year when we drew the game. Today we have 3, 4, 5 situations inside the box, 1v1. Eze, let it all work out, yeah? Eze, 67 million, all smiles, called me to come to the club. Eze is completely through just to finish the action. You have to put the ball in the net if you want to win. Now, let me tell you one thing. If you are consistent with your energy, Mikel, I have no problem with you saying that. But let's be honest, this is straight up out of order and hypocritical. The guy has been at the club 1 week. You brought him on for 19 minutes and you're basically calling him out of that performance. Did you see Martinelli's performance? Did you see Gyökeres's performance? Mikel Merino? Have you seen how many times Eddie Nketiah has missed big chances? Kai Havertz shouldering the ball wide against Newcastle, volleying it over against Manchester United in the FA Cup. Odegaard, pillow foot, can't finish his dinner. 19 minutes at the club, you're calling out Eze for not finishing off his chance. I'm sorry, mate. This guy's a hypocrite. If you've got that energy all the time, cool. You're strict, you're calling people out on missed chances, cool. I've got no problem because you're keeping to them same standards. This guy's a hypocrite. I'm sorry. I've got a real problem with this. 19 minutes at your new club, didn't get the start, comes on and actually added some spark to us, and you're basically saying Eze should have scored. We'd have got something out of the game. You're an absolute disgrace. If I'm Eze, I'm sitting there going, I might have got this wrong already. Do you know what I mean? Awful. I'm now thinking, did he even want these players? Are these Berta signings? Has Berta gone, listen, we've got to get Eze? He's going, yeah, I'm not my type of player, don't work hard enough. What are you thinking if you're Eze? Dream movie and right on let it all work out? You're calling him out after 19 minutes. Disgraceful. Absolutely disgraceful. I'm sorry. The energy is not the same. How many times has Odegaard stunk out the place? Martinelli, Havertz, and Nketiah are all these players. 19 minutes you want to call him out in public. Awful. Awful comment. Yeah, I ain't heard him say a word about Odegaard. I'm just saying. And look at who he coddles. Have massive favouritism. Jason, well, Jason, listen, I'm not gonna. But is it a colour thing? Is it a colour thing? I don't know, Mikel. What's the problem? I don't know what the problem is. Let's look at this as well. Let's look at this. Let's go a bit further. Saliba. He twisted his ankle during the warm-up. He came in and believed he could carry on. Wow. Now, let me tell you one thing now, people. I'm not a doctor. I'm not going to pretend to be. I know this is Arsenal therapy today, so in some sense, I am the footballing doctor today, people. I'm trying to get you all through a difficult session of being an Arsenal fan. But I've twisted my ankle before. I'm sure many of you have playing football. We've all done it. You roll your ankle, you go over on your ankle. Let me tell you something, bro. You can't get through 90 minutes on a twisted ankle. I can tell you that. I don't need to go to university and study medicine to tell you that a rolled ankle ain't going to get better during the game, bro. It's going to get worse. It's going to swell up. It's going to stiffen up. It's going to bruise. You ain't able to jump and land on it. Did you see the pain that Saliba was in when he jumped and he landed and we couldn't understand what the pain was from? He twisted his ankle. He twisted his ankle in the warm-up, and guess what Arteta did? He said, go on, mate, start and see how you get on. What are we doing here? What are we doing here? Twisted ankle. Bro, pain. It gets worse. And this guy said, go on, see how you get on. So you might have made it worse. He might have tweaked his ligaments now landing on it. And yet, the guy is one of our best players. You're the manager of one of the biggest clubs in the country. You've got a duty of care, actually, to look after your own players. I don't care if Saliba wants to play. You're injured. Cole Palmer gets injured in the warm-up for Chelsea. Get yourself in the dressing room, get some treatment, put your tracksuit on, sit down on the bench. You're injured. Yeah, but boss, I'll try and play through it. Sit down. You're injured, brother. The guy thinks this is Sunday League, bro. When the physio comes on with the bucket of water and the magic sponge that seems to try and fix every single injury in Sunday League football, you've all been there. I've tweaked my hamstring. Man's turning up with a sponge like, yeah, it ain't going to fix it. But, bro, he's twisted his ankle. He can't play. He's injured. And you've tried to play him, and it's got worse, and you've had to take him off. That is shambolic and amateur behaviour from a top Premier League manager, what they call him. I don't call him that, by the way. So those two things, wow. He might as well have ran on with the magic sponge and just wet his ankle and said, go on, son. Like someone just said, run it off. Go and run it off, William. You won't get this treatment at Real Madrid, mate. I'm telling you now, you will not get this treatment. I want to say this to every single Arsenal fan. You know, if William Saliba ends up at Real Madrid, do not be angry with him. Don't give him the Fabregas treatment. Don't give him the Alexis Sanchez treatment. Don't boo him if he ever plays against us for Real Madrid. Actually applaud him and say, we're fortunate that we kept you this long with this manager. Because you're actually better than this, mate. You should be winning the best trophies in the world, to be honest. Anyway, let's move on. The therapy session is underway, people. Yeah, I'm going to be real. If I was Saliba and Madrid came in for me at the end of this season, if Arsenal don't win anything, I'd be packing my suitcase. I'd already have the hand luggage packed. To be honest. Let's get into yesterday's game. I apologise that we even have to. Let me read out a few super chats and then we'll move on. A user said, this game made it very clear the manager will never drop Odegaard, Havertz and Martinelli and will always take a draw over risking a loss. Bang on, bro. User, Leverkusen sacking Ten Hag after 2 games. 2 games, bro. 2 games. Not trust the process. Not phase 5. Not win the dog. 2 games. Get out your bold fraud. Pack your bags. We'll pay you off. Daniel Collins, the way we evolve past Jesus and Zinchenko is the same way we now need to move on from Odegaard and Martinelli. They are hindering the team. Absolutely bang on. Absolutely bang on. We've evolved. We've got better. And you're trying to use players that helped us before that haven't moved with us. You're spot on, Daniel. Beresford Productions. Curtis, you know you don't like your manager. Can we have him instead? I would give him to you for free, my friend. Happily. Happily let you have Arteta. Beresford Production. Jay Rule said Arteta too smart for his own good, overthinking. He thinks he's too smart, but he isn't. Do you agree with Schmeichel's comments? So Schmeichel said something along the lines of he's never wanted a team to lose so badly or something. Schmeichel said, I've never in my life ever wanted a team to win a game of football more than Liverpool today. Arsenal bring an ugly brand of football to our game. I mean, listen, Schmeichel is ex-Man United. He said some nasty things about Ian Wright. On a personal level, I ain't really got a lot of time for him. But I hear where the guy's coming from. Imagine being a non-Arsenal or Liverpool fan and watching that game. The game stinks. The game stinks. I'd have turned that off. Vivek, 1.1 billion spent. Can't hide now. Shameful you haven't won even small trophies. Crazy how Arsenal finishing fifth had more talent than your current lot. Sanchez, Ozil, Oba. Yeah? More entertaining to watch. All day long, Vivek. We're calling Chelsea billion-dollar bottle jobs. Well, what are we doing? What are we? What are we winning for a billion? You won the Club World Cup, Conference League. You couldn't even sell pies at the stadium. You changed owner, changed manager, changed players, won a couple trophies. What are we doing? Just dropping merch every week. Alexander, I don't think Arsenal played defensively or going for a draw. I think we tried to attack. We just had no clue as to how, and that's even more concerning. But then I look at it and I think, well, Gyökeres scored 97 goals in 2 seasons. Madueke clearly has some attacking threat. Martinelli's got worse. Eze came on. There are players there that have showed us in the past that they know how to attack. Number one, I think we have a creativity issue. We don't create enough chances to even miss chances. And the system is hindering them. Our wingers sit back. Our midfield sat back. We don't look like scoring. I think Arteta was playing for a draw and thought if I can nick it with a set piece, I'll take it. Martinelli, right back, new position. He might as well play there. Highly wanted. Toro said a rhetorical question. Do you want to create? Do you want to excite? Do you want to get thrown under the bus after creating the only clear chance? Yeah, Ian Wright needs to remix his intro for Eze. Michael said, I'm a bit concerned about Zubimendi. He's not up to speed. I mean, I put a tweet out about Zubimendi and some people were crying. Some people agreed. Zubimendi is clearly a very talented footballer on the ball, but defensively, I'm concerned about him. People took it as I was questioning his all-round game. At the end of the day, he's playing in the 6. A 6 needs to create attacks and break up attacks. Zubimendi looks pretty good at starting attacks. Breaking down attacks, no, no, no. No, no. At the moment, what I'm seeing is a defensive downgrade on Thomas Partey, and that's the reality of the situation. I'm not going to hide from that. I'm not here to pamper to people. I'm going to tell you what I'm seeing. Zubimendi defensively looks like a downgrade on Thomas Partey. So that's what I'm seeing. That's what I'm seeing. But that's probably not his fault. He probably wasn't the ideal candidate. Maybe Rice should be in the 6. But it will take him some time to adapt. Peter Mills, big up for the super chat, bro. Alexander, maybe Eze didn't start because he needs time to get used to the league. Yeah, he's jet lagged, mate. It's a long journey from South London to North London. He-Man, bro, how can you take a throw-in near the corner flag in Liverpool end and in 2 passes the ball is back at Raya's feet? I spoke about that yesterday. We loaded up the box and Calafiori threw it backwards. The guy was under pressure. Went back to halfway line, then went back to Ray. I said, yeah, this is what we're doing. Toro, wouldn't surprise me if Arsenal's physio was Mikel. He's doing multiple jobs. You ever seen that film, Are We There Yet? With Ice Cube? When the same guy does all the jobs. The landlord turns up, then he's the plumber, then he's the electrician. Arteta's multitasking. That's why he's getting 15 million. Stevie said Arsenal have the players to play like PSG, but no. Yeah. Raekwon, well, not quite PSG, but not far off. Raekwon, Arteta is the highest paid manager in the Prem. Thomas Frank is a better manager than him. Probably is. I think Pep's the highest, then Arteta. And DJ Wish, do you think Arteta will make tactical changes? No. He's stubborn. He thinks it's going to work, bro. He'll blame individual players. Like he's blaming Eze. Look what Glasner's doing at Palace. Loses his best player nearly every year. Look at the football. Smashing Villa, FA Cup win, Community Shield win. What are we doing? What are we doing? Let's review yesterday's game. I'm apologising in advance because, let's be real, do we really even want to look over this game? I'd rather ignore it and pretend it never happened, but it did. So we will review it. Dominic Szoboszlai. What a goal, by the way. What a goal. Absolutely unbelievable finish. 83rd minute. From the moment he scored, it felt like game over. It never felt like we were getting back in that game. One shot on target. One shot on target. 260 million spent this summer. One shot on target. Just to give you a bit of context. Just to give you a little bit of context. Liverpool's previous 2 games in the Premier League, Newcastle away and Bournemouth at home, where they conceded 4 goals in those 2 games. Newcastle with 10 men from the first half had 3 shots on target and scored 2 of them, and 4 shots off target. That's with 10 men. And then Bournemouth, who were 2-0 down, who've lost 3 of their back 4 and their goalkeeper, Kepa, and then Howson and Kirkes and all those guys, away from home at Anfield, haven't spent $1 billion, stadium 12,000 capacity. They had a grand total of 6 shots. Arsenal had 1. But I'm meant to believe... No, they had 7 shots altogether, actually. But I'm meant to believe that this guy's leading us to the promised land, playing football like that. He's anti-football. It's anti-football. He's trying to spoil football matches. And all that record of, oh, look at his unbeaten record against the Big Six. Well, that's gone, isn't it? That is gone. And within all that unbeaten record, we never beat Man City at the Etihad and we never beat Liverpool at Anfield. So the 2 biggest threats, you've never gone to their ground and beaten them. 3rd in the league now. Let's get into player ratings. I'll give you the warning now, people. Split in half. Defensively, solid. Attack, non-existent. Let's talk David Raya. I said 2 weeks ago, David Raya is a very good goalkeeper. But with Donnarumma on the market, who is here we go to Manchester City now, depending on the financial situation, I would have looked at it. I think he's a better goalkeeper than David Raya. Raya, dodgy from the back with his passing. I just want to show you something. I probably shouldn't risk playing this, but we're going to do it. I take chances, right? I take chances. I'll do it. Let's have a look at it. It's in slow motion. I might get away with it. Right, we're going to look quickly at the Szoboszlai goal. I say quickly, it's in slow motion. Let me mute it as well. Right, let me mute it as well. Can I zoom in a bit more? I don't think you can. Right, it's playing slow. I'm going to pause this. Just look at David Raya, right? He's basically, he's encouraging him to go to that side, right? Which I get. Where I let him off a little bit, he moves as Szoboszlai runs up to the ball. So at the moment, he's way too far over to that side. As Szoboszlai's running up, he's moving. So as he's hitting it, he's in a pretty good position, right? He's pretty central. So now I would say you're in a good position to save this, right? He's trying to encourage him, go to my right. As he's making the run up, he moves back central. Now he's thinking, I'm in a good position. Bear in mind, this is like 30 yards out. As Szoboszlai hits this, Raya. Now, I want to make it clear, I'm taking nothing away from Dominic Szoboszlai. This is an unbelievable goal. Let me even go a bit bigger, full screen. This is an unbelievable goal from Szoboszlai. It's a screamer. What I'm saying is, I'm not saying it's his fault, by the way. I'm just asking the question. David Raya is 6 foot. Right? David Raya's 6 foot. Donnarumma's 6'5". He's so close to that ball at that point. I'm just asking the question, would a Donnarumma, would a Courtois, would they tip that wide? Or tip it onto the post? I'm just asking the question. Listen, it hit the post and went in. So most people think it's unsavable, which I get. But I'm just asking the question. I feel like, and I know it's in slow motion, I just feel like it gets to a point where Raya doesn't move his feet that well. If you look at Raya here, he jumps a little bit as he's hitting it. Now, goalkeepers do that sometimes to try and see the ball. They try and get a bit taller. But if you're 6'5", you might not need to jump. However, so as that ball's in the air, Raya's landing on the floor. So he hasn't even moved yet. Ball's gone over the wall. Now he's moving. There, he just doesn't move much. It's like he dives early. Listen, I might be doing too much. I don't want anybody to think I'm necessarily blaming Raya. But it's so far out. Maybe. Listen, I'm not going to blame him. I'm just assessing it. We're doing a bit of assessment. Listen, maybe it's just too good a free kick. Nobody would have saved it. I just don't know if he moved his feet quick enough and maybe could have got closer. But he is 6 foot, which is small for a goalkeeper in the Prem in general. So I think it's harsh to blame him. I just felt like he didn't move very quick. And usually one thing he's very good at is mobility, moving from side to side. But anyway, listen, I'm just asking the question. If you guys think it's not his fault, no problem. I'll give him 5 out of 10. The only reason I give him a 5, I'm not blaming him for the free kick. I'm blaming him for how dodgy he was on the ball. Do you know what I mean? And then what I didn't like, the guy came out in the interview and started talking about the football. I'm like, bro, you've been around Arteta too much. I don't want to hear you talking about the football. Let me just give you the quote briefly. He's definitely been Arteta'd. Waffle settings. With the new ball, we have to adapt. What else did he say? He said, on the new Puma ball, it's different to the night ball, so we have to adapt to it. The grip is different. The kick is different. You just don't say it. Don't say it. Don't even, if the guy asks you the question, don't mention it. The interviewers drew you in and you fell for it. If the interviewer said to me, what do you think about the new Puma ball? I'd say, nothing. It's just a football, innit? Man said it's different, it grips different, it flies different. I said, bro, you fell for the question, hook, line, and sinker. 5 out of 10. Back 4. I always say a defeat doesn't mean everybody played bad, and a win doesn't mean everybody played well. I thought Timber was pretty solid. I don't think Timber got forward as well. I still think Timber can improve a little bit going forward in terms of the crossing, the final product. Defensively, he was solid and he kept Gakpo quiet, in my opinion. So I give him a 7. Saliba came. No, I give him a 6. I give him a 6. You never blame Courtois for the Rice free kicks. Yeah, it's not my place to blame, mate. I'm too happy to even care what he should have done. Timber 6 or 7? No, I give him a 7. I give him a 7. I give him a 7. I thought he played well. He kept Gakpo quiet, and Gakpo's a good player. Calafiori, I thought was really good. I'll actually give Calafiori an 8. You're up against Salah. Salah did nothing. And he got forward a few times as well. And he's got Martinelli in front of him. What's he going to do? I actually thought Calafiori was excellent, to be honest. If you've kept Salah quiet, you've had a good game. You've had a good game. He's one of the best right wingers in the world. Gabriel as well. I thought he was excellent against Ekatike. Kept him quiet. I thought he played really well, Gabriel. I thought defensively we were excellent. Saliba, I'll give him a 6. He came off early. Shouldn't have been on the pitch in the first place. And by the way, I'm going to give an 8 to Christian Mosquera. Because honestly, to come on in a game at Anfield, Arteta said it was his debut. It wasn't. He came on last week. To come on at Anfield and play that long and play that well, I think he deserves huge credit. I thought Mosquera was excellent. One of the bright sparks of yesterday. You're right, Shaquille. I didn't like that. Timber time wasting. Yeah, I was a bit annoyed with that. But this is probably something that he encourages. Raya was doing it at 0-0. Having said that, when you turn up with a goalkeeper, 4 centre-backs and 3 defensive-minded midfielders, you're probably going to look good defensively. You're not really trying to score, are you? You know, Mosquera deserves huge credit. I would almost be tempted. Mosquera and Calafiori probably man of the match for me yesterday. Considering he came on and Calafiori up against Salah, I thought defensively he was excellent. Let's go into the midfield. It starts going downhill from here, people. Yeah, Rice was at centre-back at times. Starts going downhill. Let's start with Zubimendi. Zubimendi is clearly a very talented player. I think in games where we dominate the ball, especially at home, and we play free-flowing football, I think that's fine. Um, but in games where he's got to defend and be physical and be aggressive, I think he's a downgrade defensively on Thomas Partey. It's as simple as that. Defensively, Zubimendi is going to be targeted this season by the opposition. He's not that strong. He's not that quick. He's not that tall. He can be got at. When Jones came on yesterday for Liverpool, he caused him problems. And his foul led to the goal. I don't think he can play as a lone six. I think he needs Rice next to him in a double pivot, which we've said the whole time. You might even need to change them. Put Zubimendi in the 8 and put Rice in the 6. Because you need that power, that energy, that aggression. So for me, I thought he was poor yesterday. I didn't like his performance defensively. I've said all along Declan Rice would be a better 6. 4.5, his foul led to the goal. 5, 2. I don't think he was as bad as a 2. I'd probably give him 4.5. I just don't think he played that well. And defensively, I think teams are going to target him. Does he really start the attacks that much? A little bit. I think, but I want to say I'm not writing him off. I'm not writing him off, but I think you need to change the way he's set up. In games like this, maybe at home at the Emirates when we're dominating, you can do it. Away from home at Anfield, I'll put Rice next to him, double pivot, play a 10, and give him that support. Speaking of support, Declan Rice. Declan Rice in this Arsenal team is basically just turning into a marathon runner. He's basically runs the London Marathon every time he plays for Arsenal, Declan Rice. I watch him play and I think he's running around like a lunatic. And don't get me wrong, he's all action. It's good what he does. I'll give him a 6 out of 10 again. But I feel like, I'll probably give him 6.5. He did a great block on the edge of the area. I think there was 2 actually. But yeah, Mo Farah, man, I'm telling you, we've turned Declan Rice into Declan Couscous. I've said it many times. Rice probably was looking better at West Ham than he's currently looking at Arsenal. The only thing at the moment Declan Rice does for Arsenal, he runs around a lot and he puts in corners. I don't think the balance of our midfield is right. It's not right. He does too much running and it doesn't look right to me. It wouldn't surprise me. Touch wood, hopefully it doesn't out. It wouldn't surprise me if Rice breaks down this season. He's covering too much distance. And now he's probably worried about Zubimendi defensively. And then we're playing him, pushing him forward, expecting him to create. It just doesn't make sense. What Arsenal should have done, in my opinion, Rice should have become the number 6 and replaced Thomas Partey. Arsenal should have spent big money on a number 8, a midfielder that can create, that can score goals, that has got flair, a Barella type player. Played him in the 8, and then you get Eze in attacking midfield. That would have been my midfield going into this season. Zubimendi, for me, is a great 6 in La Liga. Can he be a great 6 in the Prem? Spanish managers seem to love that kind of midfielder that dictates play. Rodri does it, but Rodri also has the power to break up play, to go and challenge people. So we'll give him time, but I'm a little bit concerned at the moment with Zubimendi, especially in these big away games. He struggled at Old Trafford and he struggled yesterday. Mikel Merino. Mikel Merino. Wow. What did he do yesterday apart from roll around on the floor trying to win a free kick? Like, honestly, it's your platform. Somebody tell me. Somebody tell me what Mikel Merino did yesterday on that pitch. Did he win challenges? No. Did he create anything? Nothing. Was he a goal threat? No chance. I tell you what he did. He rolled around on the floor trying to win free kicks. Absolutely awful performance. Shouldn't have been played in the first place. And as a midfield signing, which is his natural midfield, He has been woeful at Arsenal. The only thing that saved him at this football club is that he went up front and did well when Havertz was out. But again, the standard was on the floor. He was awful. The guy begs free kicks half the game. Absolute scrub of a player. 3 out of 10. Awful. Should have dragged him at half time. In midfield, Marino. That's why I call him San Marino. I used to call him Dan Marino, but Dan Marino was actually a very good player in his profession. So Dan Marino is actually disrespectful to him. So I'm calling him San Marino from now on. Awful player in midfield. 2 out of 10. Yeah, 3's too high. Let's go to the front three. Oh, God. 2 out of 10 for Marino. Where do I start? Yeah. I'm going full screen. So it should give you an indication of which one of those front three I'm going to start with. People, at the moment, there's this big thing going on in this country. It's out of order, right? I think it's happening in America as well. They're trying to deport people from this country. And it's totally wrong. And it's probably built on racism and all kinds of wild things. But let me tell you now, there might be one person that needs deporting out of this country, and I won't argue with it. And it is that guy playing left wing for Arsenal Football Club. I mean, I need to know what part of Brazil that guy is born in, because there's no way he ever played football in a favela, because they would have kidnapped him and robbed him, because you can't play football in the favelas like that. He must have grew up on a farm. He must have grew up in the mountains. He must have been selling drinks on the beach. Because that guy is absolutely finished at this football club. Finished. Why is he not being sold today on deadline day? Why is he not being sold? Honestly, he must have grew up in the rainforest. They said we signed him from Division 4. I reckon it was lower than that. 1 out of 10, shambolic performance. The guy could have played the ball to Gyökeres or took a shot. Instead, he ran to the corner and tried to win a corner off Konate, and it went out for a goal kick. It was at that point I knew it was over. I said, he's done. Doesn't have the confidence to shoot. Hasn't even seen the fact that there's a pass there, so just ran into the corner. He actually tried to win a corner, and he got a goal kick for Liverpool. Please, put us out. Just put us out of our misery. I can't watch this guy play anymore. Is it Arteta's fault for the system? Is it Martinelli's fault that he doesn't have the ability to improve? I don't know which one it is, but something is wrong. Something is wrong. Don't take my jokes too seriously, people, but you know what I mean. Get this guy out. Get this guy out of this football club. Let's stop feeling sorry for him. To be honest, he's a left back. He ain't even a left winger anymore. He spends half of his time defending. So that is down to the manager. Awful. We've ruined him. Whatever he was, we've ruined him. That's like a nice car that's had a crash and now it's a Cat D. You've fixed it up. You've painted it, but the engine's knackered. It's leaking oil. It makes a rattling sound and the brakes don't work properly. It's a shell of the person it used to be. Honestly, Gary Martin, as I call him, from Stockport. Nonny Madwakey, people. Nonny. Nonny. Ah. The standards are so low that a winger running at pace, doing a couple shimmies and dropping a shoulder, we're actually excited for it. I said it in my match reaction yesterday. I said, Madwakey didn't actually play that well, you know. I watched the game back and I even thought this during the game. I said, bro, we keep saying how well Madwakey's playing, but every time he crosses the ball, Kirkes blocks it. Every time he shoots, Kirkes blocks it. He got one shot off, which was the only shot we had on target. If you was judging Kirkes' performance yesterday, you would actually say he did really well against Nonny. But what Noni was, he was lively. He looked like he didn't care when he had the ball, in terms of, you could tell the system hasn't affected him yet. So it was exciting just because he ran at him and said, I'm going to try and drop a shoulder. I'm going to try and take you on. So out of desperation, I'll give Noni a 7 out of 10. But in reality, he didn't get past him all game. I never once seen him get past Kirkes. But just because he ran at him, we were excited. Why? Because Arteta doesn't let our wingers run at people. Because they're playing in handcuffs, people. He cuffs them. Don't run at anybody. Don't nutmeg anyone. Don't do any step overs. If I dare see you chop back, you're finished. No skill. We play with 1-star skill move on FIFA. That is what we play with. We do not do tricks at Arsenal. If you nutmeg someone, you're getting banned. You're getting banned. Wow. Do you know what, by the way? I'm scrolling because somebody just said Reece Nelson bomber. Luis Suarez is spitting at someone. That guy never changes, does it? The guy looks like an old man. People, what the hell was Luis Suarez doing? He's spitting at an old guy. That guy should have been banned from football years ago. How he survived, I will never know. He's spitting at an old man. He looks like a coach. That is wild. That guy's got a real problem, hasn't he, Luis Suarez? Yeah, 7 out of 10 for Noni. And Victor Gyökeres. Oh, God. I tell you what, I've capped a lot for this guy all summer. And the Leeds performance, it brought me joy. The goal, the celebration. As I said, he does that celebration. Yesterday, I was doing that celebration. I was trying to hide. I said in my match reaction yesterday that Gyökeres looked like a bodybuilder up front. And he might as well have gone pure gym for the afternoon and got a session in. However, let me just say one thing, people. Let me just say one thing. What have I said on this channel for years? Mikel Arteta's kryptonite is a striker. Is a striker. He has no idea how to operate a striker. He walked into a golden boot winning Aubameyang. He put him left wing and he ruined him. Put Lacazette up front, he got worse. Eddie Nketiah, he didn't improve. Havertz, no. Marino, no. Now, the free-scoring striker is starving. Why? Because we don't play with any creativity. We've got no creativity. All our 10s are on the bench. We're playing a flat 3 and 4 centre-backs and a goalkeeper. We can't even get up the pitch. We're meant to be title challengers. That wasn't a title challenging game yesterday. That was one team trying to survive and nick it with a set piece. While the other one didn't play that well either, but they beat us without getting out of first gear. I said this in my match reaction. The onus was on us, people. A lot of people think, yeah, but Liverpool didn't play that well. Liverpool are champions. They don't need to prove themselves to us. We need to prove ourselves to them. They're Usain Bolt. We're Johan Blake. Bolt's already put gold medals around his neck. Bolt's already done the lightning sign next to the world record. We're the challengers. We're Justin Gatlin. We're Asafa Powell. We can't get over the finish line, people. If you're going to use Gyökeres in this manner, you're going to do the same thing to him that you did to Oba. You're going to do the same thing that you did to Laka. Because Gyökeres is a striker that needs service. And we don't give him anything. But yesterday, I can't lie. Even outside of the service, it didn't look good. It looked like Robocop was up front. I swear down. Is it me or does Gyökeres look massive in the Arsenal shirt? In the Sporting Lisbon shirt, he looked like solid, but he looked like he could move. In the Arsenal shirt, I swear down, it's like he's put the Arsenal kit on with the coat hanger in it. Like his shoulders are like up there, and I swear down, he's running like a robot. I said, what's going on? Maybe the Premier League's just too quick, but brother, we've mashed him up. We're giving him fish and chips or something. He looks massive. The kit's too tight, man. But I'm still defending Gyökeres. It's the manager. He hates strikers. He likes false nines. Big up Shane Gooner, man. He said Arteta proved if he hasn't already, he will never be good enough to manage this club, bro. You know something, right? Sometimes you've got to take the heat. And eventually people will come round to your way of thinking. I always say it, look at my responses on Twitter. But the mood is changing. The guys that were capping for him the whole time, even they're struggling now. They're running out of ammunition. You know what I mean? It's like back in the day, you're having a water fight, Super Soaker 500. You're loading it up. There ain't much water left. You're running out of water balloons. The ammunition's disappearing, people. I'm telling you. What? Because before it was, hey, if Arteta gets a top striker, boy, you're in trouble. There's the top striker. Hey, if he gets a left winger or a creative midfielder, Eze turns up, yo, now what? What now? What more does he need? He got his Zubamendi, he got his Eze, he got his Gyökeres, got all the squad players. What more does he need? He's at $1 billion. Oh, but Liverpool have done too much in the market. We can't compete with them. That's what I've seen people saying today. Well, we could have bought Isak. We spent 260 million, so we could have spent 130 on Isak. If that's who we wanted. We could have still bought Eze, 60 million, you're at 190. That would have left us 70 million to get a few squad pieces. Could have still got Zubamendi, could have still got Kepa, could have still got Mosquera. So in reality, you would have only had to sacrifice maybe Madueke and Norgard. You could have got Isak, Eze, Zubamendi, Mosquera, Kepa. I don't know. Apparently for a year, we've been chasing this guy, and you can't get him once they got Champions League. Gyökeres 3 out of 10, mate. It was awful to watch. It was painful to watch. I am still going to defend Gyökeres, but I can't lie. That was bad. That was bad. He was playing in Timberland boots. Mosquera, as I said, 8 out of 10. I thought it was a credit to himself yesterday to come on at Anfield and play like that, man. He was brilliant. Odegaard, he just did what Odegaard does, really. He flicks the ball, he flicks his hair, and he flicks snot. And that was about it. Eze, for anybody just tuning in, I was talking about the comments. If you haven't seen the comments of Arteta today, well, he said them yesterday. A lot of people missed them because Arteta never said it in the press conference. He said it in the interview after the game with the television. And I think it's disgraceful. I think it's disgraceful. And I'm just going to reiterate it for those of you that have just tuned in. I think this shows the complete hypocritical nature of this manager and the favoritism of this manager, and why I don't think we will ever win a Premier League or a Champions League. He might nick an FA Cup, but to turn around after his first game at the club, 19 minutes off the bench, Arteta turned around and said, you have to put the ball in the back of the net. We were much better than last year when we drew the game. Today we had 3, 4, 5 situations inside the box, 1v1. Eze is completely through. Just to finish the action, you have to put the ball in the net if you want to win. I think that comment, and apologies if I'm repeating this again, because some of you have been tuned in from the beginning. That comment is an absolute disgrace. If he had this energy the whole time, I would have no problem with it. But we know his energy is not like this. I saw Havertz last season shoulder the ball wide against Newcastle. I saw him volley the ball over from 6 yards against Manchester United in the FA Cup. He missed a penalty in the shootout. I've seen Hincapie miss multiple chances for Arsenal. I saw Martinelli put in one of the worst left-wing performances I've ever seen yesterday. But he doesn't mention it. But after 19 minutes at the club, you're going to call him out after the game, live on television. When you brought him on left wing when he's not a left winger, and you should have started him in the game. And actually, he was one of our most creative players when he came on the pitch. This guy is a disgrace of a manager. I don't care. He should not be the Arsenal manager. He doesn't represent this football club in the right way. Wenger went through 20 years to put us on a platform that, okay, we faded towards the end of his tenure. But everybody knew, you go anywhere in the world and say, I'm an Arsenal fan, they will say, you play great football. He set that in stone, Arsene Wenger. When I leave this club, everybody worldwide's going to know Arsenal play football in the right way. And this guy has come in and gone, yeah, forget that, mate. We're going to play anti-terrorism, deflective, defensive football and try and nick games away from home. After spending $1 billion. You do not do this. You defend your players. The guy's just come through the door and you're already throwing him under the bus. So if I'm reading this as Eze, I'm going, raw, Arteta's blaming me for the defeat. He's blaming me, not the fact that Zubimendi fouled a player 30 yards out from goal, not the fact that Martinelli had an absolute stinker, but you're going to call out Eze because he didn't finish off his chance. It's woeful. If you're going to play this kind of football, you have to be successful. It's quite simple. Every Arsenal fan will go, you know what? This is tough to watch, but you won us the title. George Graham played a lot of boring football, 1-0 to the Arsenal. It wasn't overly entertaining all the time. Sometimes it was. Sometimes it was just go 1-0 up and defend. But he won titles. He won trophies. He had players like Ian Wright. We all know what we represented under that management. Wenger came in, took it to a new level, evolved us, great football entertainers. And then this guy comes in. So you're playing boring football that isn't successful. And we're meant to sit here and go, oh my God, you rescued us. You didn't rescue us, mate. We were perfectly successful before you turned up. And as I said, people, this guy Arteta has an inferiority complex. He's brought that mindset from Everton as a player to Arsenal as a manager. Because he's probably turned up at Anfield so many times with Everton thinking, look at the atmosphere. We're not as good as Liverpool. If we can get out of Anfield with a point, it's a fantastic result. And he's doing it as Arsenal manager. He's doing it as Arsenal manager. He's turning up at Anfield and playing survival football. Can I get out of here with a point with 7 defensive players on the pitch? And how ironic that the so-called set-piece king got done with a set-piece by Liverpool. How ironic. How ironic. Once our corners didn't work, because Van Dijk and Kanate won every header, he had no answer. He had no answer. So for me, people, I'm done with this guy. I'm done with this guy. You've spent the money. If he doesn't win the Premier League or the Champions League, get him out of this football club. Because we've changed sporting director and things have improved. Berta's clearly an upgrade on Edu. We've changed players. Things have improved. We've got better players. Gabriel, Saliba, Rice, Gyökeres. These guys are good players. You can get so much more out of this team. The one thing that we haven't changed, one is the owner. But as much as I don't like the owner, they are actually backing the manager, which I have to give them a little bit of credit. The one thing that has remained is the manager. So why are we not thinking maybe the manager's the problem? Maybe we need the top quality manager. So I don't know, people. I just don't know where we're going with this guy. I don't know what the aim is. I don't know what the target is. Liverpool, your biggest rivals. It's an international break. You had a chance to go there and change the narrative yesterday. I think if we'd have gone to Liverpool yesterday and lost 3-2 and had them on the ropes and created multiple chances and hit the post and Alisson made 4 great saves, but Liverpool nicked it with that Szoboszlai free kick, I think people would have sat there and gone, do you know what? Even though Liverpool beat you, you're serious. Even though you lost the game, we can all see that you're a different team. You bought Gyökeres, you bought Eze, you played great football. You look like you're on the same level as them. But going there with 7 defensive players and just sitting in and trying to get a corner, I think Liverpool went home last night and went, yeah, they're not on our level. They're not on our level. They ain't winning no title. You knew when Liverpool and Man City were going at the title. When they played each other, it was a war. Even if you lost, it was like, yo, you've troubled the opposition. Everyone came off the pitch tired. You felt that energy. I don't feel like Arsenal are on Liverpool's level. I just don't. And then they go out and go and get Isak and go and get Mark Gahey just to add to it on deadline day. I mean, they're only going to go up a level. I think people have to understand how big a signing Isak is. I think because we've known it was happening for months, it's like kind of hasn't sent shockwaves through football, but that signing is absolutely incredible. They're going to go to a whole nother level. Yeah, we didn't land a glove on them. It's like a boxer getting in the ring and just defending in the corner on the ropes. You've got to throw a punch if you want to win. Cheeky Legend said, Zubi is a fraud worse than Marino, trust me. I think he's better than Marino. I just think he's probably not the ideal 6 in the Premier League defensively. Or you've got to play a double pivot so that Rice's physicality is there with him. You know, sort of like how they use Vitinha at PSG, but they have people around him. Man are calling him Victor Grosser that is evil. That's evil work, I can't lie. Stevie said, continue to sign so many defenders. Yeah, we're signing another defender today. Why always me? The Arteta zombies are the same people that if they're... they would still believe they're low. Yeah, man, you just bury your head in the sand, innit? Pretend it never happened. Blame everyone else. It's everyone else's fault. That's what I've noticed with the Arteta fanboys. It's everyone else's fault. It's never his fault. There's no accountability. He needs a striker. He needs a six. He needs a left winger. He needs more time. It's PGMOL's fault. The referees are cheat. VAR got it wrong. Liverpool didn't even play that well yesterday. It's a wonder free kick. What else can we blame? Saliba got injured. Yeah, but Saliba got injured before the game and your manager picked him. But what else can we blame? Gyökeres ain't fully fit yet. Eze needs time to acclimatise. Yeah, but he played in South London and we're in North London. There's no difference. Like it's the Prem, it's the same city. He's English. What else can we blame? What else? Timber's just come on, man. You've ran out of excuses now, people. You've ran out of excuses. HR said I think Liverpool will go invincible and win all four. I don't see anyone winning against them. What about you? Mo gave a good pass to Gyökeres. He didn't score. Yeah, I don't think he read it. Will they go invincible? Probably not. Probably not. They've ran their luck already in the first couple of games. Somebody will probably do them. And win all four? No, but I think they've got a great chance in the Champions League, especially with Isak. Faisal said, I hope you see now why Gyökeres will fail. Big game, United Liverpool, Gyök looks ish and will score, but in big games, small margins, doesn't have the X factor. Meanwhile, the fan base settled on him when Isak should have always been the number one target. But I still think if we create chances, Gyökeres will score goals, but we don't create chances, bro. That's the problem. Seeing this stat XG from open play, Man United 0.28, Leeds 0.96, Liverpool 0.33. I don't get the positivity. Stoke tactic. Bro, I started the stream with the XG, and listen, XG is not something that I particularly care about. It's expected, innit? You know, we probably expected to be millionaires when we were 20, 25, 30. It, right, I think we're back, people. I think we're back. Arteta got into my Wi-Fi and cut the wires, people. He cut the wires. They can't get us out of there, people. We can't get us out of there. Right, let's show the stats. You can't hide, Mikkel. You can run, but you can't hide. We haven't even started talking about transfers yet, but the transfers aren't that exciting anyway. Right, can I share screen without it cutting out? Right, there we go. Imagine spending $1 billion. He's like Dr. Evil, isn't he, in Austin Powers? $1 billion. Second lowest XG in the whole Premier League this season. Wow. Woof. $1 billion to be that defensive that Brentford and Wolves have got better XG, and newly promoted Leeds and West Ham, who manager was probably going to get sacked if they lost yesterday. But we've spent 65 million on Gyökeres. We've spent 67 million on Eze, and we've spent 52 million on Madueke, and yet Leeds United have got a better XG than Arsenal with Dominic Calvert-Lewin up front. But don't worry, guys. The title's ours in 2035. Just trust the process. 10 more years. Yeah. I'm supposed to believe this guy's going to win the league. John said, you're way too negative today, Curtis. Look at everything with perspective. Away to United and Liverpool within the first 3 games whilst bedding in new signings. Long way to go, lots to be positive. But I heard similar things last year, John. And the year before that. Oh, and the year before that. In terms of bedding in signings, everybody's bedding in signings. That's not just an Arsenal thing. That's everybody has got new signings. So I've watched us play 3 games. We stunk against Man United, got out of there with a win because that goalkeeper's hands are made out of feathers. Against Leeds, we were struggling the first 30 minutes, got a couple goals from set pieces, nicked the game. Leeds are awful. And then we went to United and had Liverpool and had 1 shot on target. And we've got the second lowest XG in the Premier League despite spending $1 billion in phase 47. But long way to go, guys. Long way to go. Mr. Cool Bus Driver, he was born in the Brazilian embassy in Bolivia. Apologies to the Bolivians, but yeah, we're trying to figure out where Martinelli's from because I've never seen a Brazilian play like he's from Antarctica. He played like a penguin yesterday. Big C, before Old Trafford and Anfield, you said we need to show up and make statements. We failed miserably on both occasions. Can't say I'm surprised. No, I'm not. Emotional damage, Curtis. This is on Arteta. I don't think he can take us over the line. The players don't believe. And that's a great point. The players will give up. They'll stop to believe in what he's saying and think, I've heard this before. It don't change. DJ Wisp, big up, bro. I think Eze has said something in training that Arteta doesn't agree with. There is your punishment, Eze. Crazy. Mr. Big P said, Big C threatening to deport Martinelli has me in stitches. You've got to get him out. We're sponsored by Fly Emirates. Use your staff discount and get him out. Teta would have Henry at left back and play Odegaard before Bergkamp. Yeah, Henry would be tracking back. Big up He-Man. Michael said, what must Klopp and Pep think? Well, they probably loved it because they knew that Arteta would never finish above them in the league. Pep sent him here on purpose. It's an inside job. African Soldier, Arteta's the luckiest manager in the world. He walked into the job as a novice, given the most money to spend in the club history, has won nothing much and is still employed. I mean, imagine if Wenger had spent $1 billion. We'd have won the Premier League because he had pull. He could get the top players and he had a system that worked. His talent ID was failing because the money was getting less and he bought some bad players, you know, your Mustafis, your Xhakas. He had a problem with agents as well that held him back. Nick said, biggest problem at Arsenal is 100% the manager. Totally agree. Victor said, either your manager raises levels or you keep adding world-class players. Arsenal have neither. Slot made Gravenberch and Liverpool have 3 world-class, but Slot's an absolute beast tactically, honestly. And David said, was made up for yesterday, all to be embarrassed. Arsenal fans were hyped for yesterday. We felt it was going to be a sliding doors moment that we changed the narrative. We can go to Anfield and beat them. We can show up in a big game. We've now got that striker. We've got the creative player. You're going to see a new Arsenal. You didn't. You saw the same old anti-football, non-attacking Mikel Arteta that wants to win games 1-0 or draw 0-0 away from home. If we'd drawn that game 1-0, he would have said it was a masterclass when the game was there to be won. And that's the difference between top managers and not so good managers. Right, let's talk transfers because it is deadline day, people, after all, and players are going all over the place today. We're obviously going for Hincapie, more defenders. What do you add to a team that loves to defend? Another defender. Nothing against him. He might be a really good player. Arsenal and Bayer Leverkusen are now exchanging documents for Piero Hincapie. All done, set to be announced today. Listen, no disrespect to him. I think he looks like a good player, but I just can't get excited about another defender after what I watched yesterday. It's pathetic. Not him, but the whole situation. Takeshi, talk about the video they dropped before the game. Unbelievable. They put out a video saying, let's make a statement. The only statement they should have made is one at the police station for this guy's terrorism football. That's the only statement they should have dropped. They didn't exactly make a statement, did they? You know, they didn't exactly make a statement. Let's look what Arsenal have written on their account. Now, I'm always intrigued for the tweets and the excuses. Let's see what Arsenal have put. Let's look at them together. Let's share the screen. What have they said since yesterday? The Arsenal. Familiar faces on the move. Find out where our former Gunners have gone this summer. No, we don't care. 5.5 years, 36 signings. How many of our new recruits under Arteta can you name? Wow, that'd be a good quiz. Half of them aren't here anymore because they weren't good enough. Play the quiz, guys. Play the quiz. First steps as a gunner. Yeah, with a bib on the bench. Pathetic. Today we remember Reyes, rest in peace, of course. Quality player he was, man. Sweet left foot. Every word from his press conference, nope, rather not. I see the team going forward, says Mikel Merino. Yeah, we will if you're not in the starting 11, mate. The team is giving encouraging signs we need to keep building on. If you build any higher, mate, the building will be bigger than the Burj Khalifa. I don't know how much building you need to do. Not the result your support deserves. Safe trip home. Luckily, I never left my house, mate, because I ain't travelling to Liverpool to watch that. A hard-fought display doesn't go our way. Time to rest, recharge, and go again after the international break. Plug the charger in, guys. We just need to recharge and go again. Hard-fought display doesn't go our way. One shot on target, yeah? Cool. One shot on target. Let's see the pre-match. Let's see the pre-match hype that they were hyping up. Here's the warm-up. Let's do this, Gunners. On the move, we've got you covered. Live commentary. The boss on Martinelli and Marino's inclusion. Let's hear what this is what he said before the game. They are obviously very good attacking players. It ain't obvious to me, bro. I haven't seen anything. Marino not bad up front. Midfield disaster. Martinelli, wow. Both of them, with their own qualities, are a real threat in the opposition box. We prepare the game to win it. Yeah, how did that work out yesterday, mate? Did they threaten yesterday? Did they do anything in their box? Nothing. By the look of Marino's face, even he can't believe he's playing, and Martinelli can't believe it, to be honest. A peek inside the dressing room. Yeah, we'll put up a picture of Eze as the main picture, making you think he's going to start, and then we're going to bench him. But make sure you order your Eze 10 shirt. Oh, and Nwaneri, remember him? 5-year deal. Yeah, sub not used again. Forward as one. We move forward as one. Ready for business. With the suitcase. What's in the suitcase? Ready to represent. Third kit. You can shop here. In the building. First trip with Arsenal. Yeah, on the bench. There's the team. Where's that stuff? Still looking for a way to watch the mouth-watering clash. No one's mouth was watering watching that. Last time out, Marino snatched an equaliser. On this day, oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, no, get them off my screen. Look at the state of that, honestly. People, this is where it all started. We're getting to the root of the problem. That's what you do in therapy. See, this is why we call it Arsenal therapy. When you turn up for a therapy session, we've got to get to the root of the problem. You know, my dad wasn't there as a kid. I didn't get the PlayStation the day it came out. You know, Pro Evo 5, I didn't get the memory card, so I couldn't build a Master League. You know, nobody loves me. In school, I was, picked on by the teachers. We're getting to the root of the problem. On this day, this was yesterday, on the 31st of August, 2011, this is where it all went wrong, people. You are going to leave Arsenal therapy today as new people, as new Arsenal fans. This is the root cause of the problem. We signed Mikel Arteta, 2011, from Everton to replace Cesc Fabregas. I said that is like selling your Lamborghini and buying a clapped out Ford Escort. That's how good Cesc Fabregas was compared to this guy. And this is where it all went wrong. He's still haunting us to this day. He was a mid player and he's a mid manager. Still haunting us. If only Wenger never bought him. If only Wenger never bought him. BFG, I mean, I didn't rate him as a player, but at least he's producing young talent as academy manager. Crazy. On that day, we were haunted. That was basically Halloween. Mark Gahey to Liverpool. He's having his medical. That's happening. Here we go. Nicholas Jackson to Bayern. Here we go. They've rescued the deal. Loan with an option to buy. Big up views with the raid, man. Appreciate it. Ford Escort is better. This was a Pinto to Blood Clot. Yo, you're not wrong. Yeah, you're right, actually. Ford Escorts were pretty solid cars in the 90s, early 2000s, man. So, yeah, man, no disrespect to a Ford Escort. This is where it all went wrong, people. 2011, 31st of August, we signed Arteta and we still can't get rid of him. Yeah, Gay's having his medical at Liverpool. So, Gay here and Isak. I think we can write the title off for this year, people. I think it's safe to say, let's be honest. Wow. We're at the root cause of the problem. Look at the state of this. Let's make a statement. Oh God. I've got to pause this because I'll probably get copyrighted if I play that. Wow. They tweeted, let's make a statement and had one shot on target. Let's make a statement and had one shot on target. It's cringe-worthy behaviour. Isak News was great. Raya's interview blaming the ball. Well, the ball moves different according to David Raya. Straight out of the excuses category of Arteta, that one, innit? Let's get into press conference reaction. It's a quick one. I've already done his interview that he did after the game with the TV, but his press conference reaction should be short. Awful. I can barely look at him. On Saliba's fitness, he twisted his ankle in the warm-up. He came in and said he believed that he could carry on and play, but straight away in the first two actions, I could see he couldn't cope. We had to get him out, unfortunately. Thank God we had Mosquera, which we put in for the first time in the Premier League. That's funny, mate. He came on last week. His debut, not expecting it at Anfield. I think it was really, really good. Has this guy forgotten he played last week, bro? You brought him on against Leeds. What are you talking about? Ain't his debut? I don't know. He can't even remember anymore. Yeah, we've had the most points the last 3 years. Actually, Mikel, Man City have had more points. Oh, yeah. Oh, what a debut from Mosquera is incredible. Actually, Mikel, he brought him on last week against Leeds. The ball doesn't move properly. Yeah, but everyone uses the same ball. Oh, okay. Yeah, get out my press conference. You're putting me under too much pressure. Fair enough, Mikel. But you didn't say it in the press conference when you spoke to him. Dear, oh dear. Somebody just said Leao's being linked to top. That better not be true, I swear. Wow. Listen, I'm telling you now, yeah. Miguel Delaney says Tottenham are considering a move for AC Milan's Rafa. If they sign Rafa Leao, I'm going on gardening leave. I'm telling you. Chelsea got 22 million for Tyreek George, angry Saka. Oh my God. Angry Saka for 22 million. I swear down, man. We can't sell established players for 10 million. We can't sell established players for 10 million. Angry Saka for 22 million. Dear, oh dear. They could have had Martinelli. I'd have sold Martinelli for 22 million. Liverpool agree 35 million deal for Mark Gahey. What a signing. He's a beast, man. He's improved a lot. Yeah, we've spoken about Saliba already. I mean, what kind of manager allows a player to roll his ankle and then starts him? Did Maresca play Cole Palmer when he tweaked his groin last week? No. He said, you're not playing. Sit down and rest. I've got a duty of care as your manager to tell you that you're not playing even if you want to play. But not us. We play him. Probably made his ankle worse. And if he thought the game plan was working. We didn't do our game plan to frustrate them. We did it to win it. Well, no one saw it. I think we elevated the game and the dominance to a point that they had to raise it. They did, especially from the 60th to the 78th minute. I love the specifics. When then you could see there were no margins in the game. When that happens, the game is going to be decided in two ways. One with an incredible error and two with a magic moment. Szoboszlai created a moment that was incredible, that has won the game. That was the difference. Nothing else. Mikel, one shot on target at Anfield after spending £1 billion. What are your thoughts? Mikel, today, do you think you lack creativity with Eze, Odegaard and Nwaneri on the bench? But they won't ask that question. They're not allowed. And if our midfield was too conservative, That's what we had. Odegaard was injured. Kai cannot play. Marino is a player that is incredible with what he did there. What did he do? All I saw was a disappearing act for 90 minutes. It is quite incredible to disappear on a football pitch. We played with 3 attacking players, 2 attacking fullbacks after the game. I think it's easy to say that. Didn't even mention Eze, did he? Your £67 million, let it all work out signing. Pure waffle. On Declan Rice's positioning, we believed it was the best thing to do, especially the way we had to attack and the way they pressed him. So we put him in the middle of the 2 centre-backs. Is he worried about Saliba's injury? He said, I am. You cannot play a game of that stature after you tried. That means something is wrong. Well, you knew something was wrong before the game. He's twisted his ankle. On why the game changed in the second half, this is Anfield. At some point, it's going to change. You cannot dominate Anfield for 95 minutes. It changed in various ways, especially because we didn't make the right decision when our keeper got the ball in. When our keeper got the ball in their hands, we started to rush it. The turnovers, we didn't manage them so well. We could never glide as a team. They're going to create those moments without really creating a situation, and that's the end of it. Marino excited for the future after New Boys star. I hope he's not at Arsenal in the future, that's for sure. Sell him back to Villarreal. DMW, Chelsea can sell their players because they have a proper wage structure. We got scrubs on 180 a week. George would have been one of our highest earners. Yeah, that's the thing. Young players on low wages, long contracts, you can sell them. People will pay them. We've got guys on big money, which is why we end up in these situations, people like this that I'm going to bring on the screen. Reece Nelson, another loan, another option to buy, which basically means Reece Nelson, Arsenal pre-season tour 2026. Exclusive, Brentford agree a deal to sign Reece Nelson from Arsenal. Here we go. Nelson has chosen to join Brentford on loan, turning down interest from other Premier League clubs, as well as European sides. He's now on his way for a medical. Can't wait to see him on pre-season tour next summer, because you know they ain't buying him. More loans than Barclays Bank, with no obligation to buy. We cannot sell rice to a chef, genuinely. I mean, I'm happy for him. Option to buy. Are they going to take it? Probably not. Probably not. The same way most of our loans with option to buys do not get bought. So expect to see Reece Nelson back next summer, people. Big up Reece. Big up Reece. And also the other one, people. One of them has left, so a little bit of celebration, but not really. Hamburg are signing Albert Sambi Lokonga and Fabio Vieira. Lokonga will join on a permanent deal, believed to be around 5 million. To be honest, if a picture could describe Sambi Lokonga's time at Arsenal, that would be the picture. That's the noise that he's making. And that would describe the guy described as the new Yaya Toure by Vincent Kompany. That is what you call hustling and shaking. Got 17 million British GBP, Great British Pounds, for this guy. And that facial expression sums up his time at the club. But at least it's a permanent deal, believed to be around £5 million. So, yeah, get him out the door. But Fabio Vieira, that is a loan with an option to buy. So guess what? Fabio Vieira, welcome back to Arsenal. Pre-season tour 2026. Porto didn't want him, and that's his boyhood club. So what makes you think he's going to Hamburg and they're going to sign him? So, yeah, we'll end up with them back next summer. I'm almost certain of it. Sharif said, I'll be gracious in victory, won't gloat about Sunday. Wanted to give you credit on Isak. You called it in May. Who cares if Newcastle have Champions League? Put the money on the table. But if you say that, Sharif, they don't accept that. Not everyone actually, a lot of people in the community agreed with me. Oh, Newcastle got Champions League football now, mate, so we can't get Isak. Are you sure about that? He wants to win the Champions League, not play in the Champions League. So if we'd have moved like Liverpool, maybe we'd have got him. But we didn't. We didn't. So he goes to Liverpool, and he'll win a title. Liverpool win the league, by the way. Liverpool going to win back-to-back titles. Their team is outrageous. Their team is outrageous. Yeah, all the Nasri, Fabregas, Van Persie, we was in the Champions League. They don't care. They want to win the Champions League, not play in the Champions League. Playing in the Champions League. Oh my God. I mean, this is unbelievable. This ain't Arsenal. It's Chelsea. I can't believe they've done this deal for Nicholas Jackson. This is what you call learning how to sell players. Look at the state of this, right? Nicholas Jackson. Look at the deal Chelsea have got for Nicholas Jackson. This is ridiculous because I don't rate this guy one bit. Nicholas Jackson is going to Bayern Munich on loan with an obligation to buy worth £70 million. 5-year contract. I mean, am I going crazy here? Do people rate Nicholas Jackson? I think this guy's a scrub. How are you getting 70 million for Nicholas Jackson? Off Bayern Munich. If he played for Arsenal, we'd be loaning him out with an option to buy for 20 million. Real talk. We'd be loaning him out with an option for 20 million. 70 million. They're paying 16 million pounds up front loan fee. That is insane. He's a taller Eddie Hincapie, 70 mil. I don't know how they do it. Liverpool and Chelsea, they need to learn Arsenal how they do this. I don't know how they're doing this. How can you get so much money for such a bad footballer? That is unbelievable business. They paid less money for João Pedro than what they sold Jackson for, and Pedro's twice as good as Jackson. And we gave Aubameyang away for nothing and high-fived each other. Crazy. Watch Liverpool sign Saka as Salah's replacement, said HR. Wouldn't be surprised. Raekwon said, Curtis, why do you think the club is so poor at selling, especially the manager? He allowed Oba to leave for free. Like people have said earlier, big wages to very average players. Let me have a look just briefly before we round up. Nicholas Jackson, what's he on wage-wise? Nicholas Jackson, wages. I bet he's not on. Nicholas Jackson earns 100 grand a week. I mean, it's not crazy, is it? People saying Lookman's being linked with Spurs. Oh, God, that bad. They're clearly looking for a winger, aren't they, to replace Son? They're looking at Lookman and Leao. Wow, 2 players we should be looking at, to be honest. Apparently, Lookman's been offered to multiple clubs in the league. Loan with obligation would be accepted at this late stage. Let's see if we do anything. I'll probably be back on later anyway, looking at transfers. Victor said, Curtis, it's the wages. You put Zinni on 150. There you go. You can't get rid of them guys. Maybe we'll do some World Cup qualifiers, some watch-alongs over the international break. Let me redirect. Who's live, people? Who is live? Who's still going? I'm sure loads of people will be live throughout the day. Troops is live. All right, we'll go Troops. Someone just said Troops getting bullied on his live. Well, let's redirect then. Ain't easy, man. I bet the Liverpool fans monts, is it? I bet he's bullying him. Szoboszlai sinks Arsenal. We'll redirect to Troops. Should be back on later, people, if we announce Hincapie and if we do anything else, but I'm not excited by it anyway. Member stream will be this week, probably Thursday, so make sure you locked in for that. And we're going to do a 100k celebration stream during the international break as well. So look out for that. Big up to everyone locked in, and I will see you all later on, people. Bless.